सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ। समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः। ॐ नमो नारायणाय तस्मै नमः स्वामी तपोवनाय। हरि ओम। Before we begin today's session, just a quick question. How many of we tried at least to practice the previous lesson that Bhagavan Shri Krishna told us? Tried at least for a little bit, for a little while. He spoke about austerities, right? Sharirika tapas, manasika tapas, vachika tapas. At least vachika tapas, because that is something we keep doing all the time, talk. Did we try to reflect before we speak? Only when we try, we will know how difficult it is. Even if we resolve to try it for a certain period of time, certain number of days or certain number of hours in a day, in a single day also, truthfully, when we try to follow, that's when we'll know what it does to us or what it really means, isn't it? And that's when, to test our resolve, person X or Y will come. And they will say such things, such words, because they know exactly what are the trigger points. God will send us. Oh, you said you will resolve? You resolve this? Let's test how well you're able to keep it up. And this person knows exactly which nerves to tickle. And they will say exactly those words. And you want to say something back, and you remember your resolve, Vachika Tapaha, and ask these questions. Whatever I want to respond with, these words. Are these true, Satyam? I want to say, you are a dash, dash, dash. Yes, it is Satyam, it is true only. But then the next question, is it Priyam? No. Is it Hitam? Is it beneficial? No. Then you refrain. Then you have to refrain because you have resolved. Very interesting, very challenging. Let's take it up and try. At least no small resolutions, feasible things. We should not keep like, I am going to follow this forever in my life from now on. It's good if we have that nishta, then we can, if we have that strong willpower. But at least to try, maybe from this hour to this hour every day. Or for these many days, I'm going to try this. So many austerities, spiritual sadhanas, Bhagavan suggested at the physical level, mental level, and speech level. So many he suggested, even one or two if we take up and try. Because these are being taught for us to be assimilated and to be abided, to live, to be practiced, not just to know and discuss it and leave it at that. Otherwise, it will not have any impact or any real benefit to us. Okay. Interesting. Vachika tapas, quite challenging. Should challenge ourselves once in a while. All right. So next, what Bhagavan is telling us, a very important, a very deep fact, truth, universal truth, that is, he says, man is what he truly believes in. A man is what he truly believes in, which means we are our faith. I am my own convictions. My own core beliefs is what makes me who I am. Each one of us has inherent faith, and faith differs from person to person, the type of faith we have. And what makes us unique is that each one is defined by his inherent faith, but by what his convictions, deep convictions are, core beliefs are. Because we all speak, we think and speak according to our knowledge. We hear this, we read this, we like it, we speak about it. But when we come to practice, just now we saw also, when it comes to practice, to living, to action, our actions are based on our core beliefs or core convictions, our true nature. Okay. So this faith that makes us, what is it? It is what that drives us. It is what that drives every aspect of our life. What we eat, how we eat, whom we worship, what are our ideals, what virtues we value, we respect, we adore in others. Why? Everything, how we worship, our customs, everything is impacted by our faith. All this depends on our faith. And it is universal, and nothing is in life is possible without faith, isn't it? We go to sleep with the faith, we wake up, we step out of our house with the faith that we can return back home safely. We cook and we eat, or we eat out with the belief, with the faith that it will nourish us and it will not poison or hurt us. All our interactions, everything is all possible because of faith. The faith is running the show. Because of some inherent basic faith, only we do all these things. So it is an inseparable aspect from our personality, from human personality, and from our life also. So it's universal and it's inherent, and everybody has it. So you can't say, sometimes we say words, we make statements or judgments like, oh, this person, no, he has no faith. In what do we mean by that? When we say he has no faith in God, and I say, கடவுள் நம்பிக்கை இல்ல, நம்பிக்கையே இல்ல, like that we say. He may not have faith in God because God is not visible to eyes, but he has faith in his senses, in his eyes, in whatever he sees as true. He may have faith in that person X who told him not to believe in God, or who told him not to believe in the scriptures. So everybody has faith in what is what matters. In whom? What kind of faith is what differs. One believes in God, has faith in God. The other believes in his eyes, or believes in this person X who told him a certain thing. One may have faith in the authenticity of scriptures, and one may say, I have faith in science. But faith is there, isn't it? And when we say statements like religion is faith and science is knowledge, that is actually wrong. It's factually wrong. What do we mean by religion is faith? Science also is based on faith, not just knowledge. Scientists discover something, invent something, they record some things in a certain way based on their faith. They believe on what they see, what they have experimented, their results, and then they record it and they release it, and we all believe it. And someone else in the future may come refuting it. This is happening all the time. They have faith in their logic, they have faith in their physical perceptions, and based on that faith, they say certain statements. Science said there were 9 elements, 9 planets, now it is 8. It keeps changing, so many things. A biologist will say everything is cells, one will say everything, physicist will say everything is atoms. Chemistry will say, oh, everything is elements. Different words, different views. And someone else in the future will come and say, no, whatever we are seeing actually, that itself is just an appearance. It's not really as it is. It's all just atoms hovering. There is no solid thing form. There is so many things keep changing, right? So that also is based on faith. Faith in their logic, faith in their perception, in their sight, and what they do as research. So faith is there, whether it is in science or in religion, we say, or we say in God, in the presence of God, or in just what I see as the world. Faith is there. And it is what it drives us, and the faith that we have is what makes us. So this is an interesting question to reflect upon. Do we form faith, or does faith form us? Is faith a product of man? Does man make faith? Or does faith make a man? It's a deep question, profound question. Isn't it? In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna Paramatma says, Shraddhamayoham Purushaha, Yo Yashraddha Sevasaha, and Sattvanurupa Shraddhasya. He answers both these questions. Shraddhamayoham Purushaha, Yo Yashraddha Sevasaha means man is what his faith is. Man is of the form of his faith. So meaning faith forms the man. Faith makes a man. And what is this faith? That question comes now. Who is this man? Man is his faith. Whatever he believes in, that's what he is. Okay. His deep convictions, his core beliefs is what he is. Okay. But what is this faith? Where does it come from? Bhagavan has Sattvanu Rupa Sarvasya Shraddha Bhavati Bharata. Sattvanurupa. Sattvanurupa means what? Sattva here means mind. Mind, the deep impressions of the mind, our core vasanas, our core inherent tendencies, our swabhava, our nature. So faith is according to our inherent nature, and man is according to his faith. That's what Bhagavan says. So it is really a kind of a cycle, just like the karmic cycle. When we say the law of karma, there are two parts to it. We are our product of our past actions, and therefore, by extension of it, we are the architect of our future. We say the actions that we do now will give results which make our future. The same way, this also is a cycle. Our deep impressions, nature is what is our faith. Our faith depends on our inherent nature, and our actions and our life depends on our faith. Therefore, since faith is formed, faith can be reformed, it can be refashioned, remodeled, right? That's why we suddenly are surprised also. Oh, nowadays you do yoga, or suddenly you believe in God, or you say, oh, you've changed your faith. Then they say, yes, I spoke to this person. So many influences are there now because faith can be refashioned, right? That is a profession, that is a vocation. One calls oneself now. I'm an influencer, social influencer, using media, YouTube, and different media, Facebook, Insta, to influence people with their ideas, with their thoughts, with their research. And people also get influenced. Okay. So, but there is a good thing about this is that This faith can be reformed, can be made by us, by our choices, by our actions, by our actions. See, just one or two actions do not define us, isn't it? They just by merely, sometimes that's why we're surprised. Oh, I can't believe you did this, we say to someone. At the same time, to someone else, we say, oh, it's no wonder you did it. Because that's your nature. That's why your act was according to your nature. And sometimes one or two acts are different from one's faith or nature. So we say, how did you do this? So it's not one or two act, but it's repeatedly what's done and nurtured becomes our core beliefs. So again, in faith, there are these three types: sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. What values, what ideals, what role models we follow, we adore, we respect, we worship, that determines, that tells whether it is sattvic, rajasic, or tamasic. One who has sattvic faith, what kind of ideals one would have? Sattvic ideals, worshipping God, worshipping devotees of God, very noble people, saints and sages, valuing things like peace, harmony, purity, selflessness, knowledge. That is sattvic faith. That reflects sattvic faith. So when one values knowledge, peace, purity, selflessness, such kind of virtues, role models, having role models who are very noble, selfless, devotees of God, and God is my role model. God is my hero. Krishna is my hero. Hanuman is my hero. And how they worship God also, how they worship also, how they worship. Do they torture themselves and do certain rituals, or what kind of austerities and what kind of yajna they do? Is it in accordance with Shastra? All this reflects on whether this person is of a sattvic faith. Rajasic faith, Rajasic ideals, what makes a Rajasic ideal? One believes in power, name, fame, position. That's what one values. Those are the virtues that are very close to his heart. Therefore, who are his role models? Celebrities, politicians, people who are of great fame, name, position, or wealth and stature in the world, in the life, in the society. So such people one likes, one follows, one worships. Such ideals one nurtures. Then that is of a Rajasic nature. And how they do that also, and how they go about with a kind of ostentatiousness, with self-pride, with lot of arrogance. Tamasic, a person of tamasic faith, what values, virtues he will nurture, who will be his role models, who will he worship and follow and idolize. Maybe he worships negative forces and ghosts and spirits, fanatics people, fanaticism, violence, vulgarity. Those are the things that he cherishes, he follows, he enjoys. Then that makes that person a person of tamasic faith. Right? So, and not only this, one person, a single person can have different faith with respect to different aspects of life. That is, one can have sattvic faith with respect to worship. So one may pray to God, Lord Ganesha, whomever his Ishta is, and do it in a sattvic way. But with respect to food and clothing, one may have a rajasic taste, rajasic faith. And with respect to entertainment, one may have a tamasic faith. Okay, so that's why that same person will have mixed experiences of joy and sorrow, goes ups and downs. In one aspect is sattvic, all right. But what about the other aspects of life? The quality of life is determined by the faith that we entertain, the faith that we inculcate, by the nature of our faith, what we endorse, whom we idolize. The quality of life will depend on it. And there are so many aspects to it. It's just not one thing. Therefore, Shri Krishna says, the very beginning itself in the second chapter, he says, Nitya Sattvastho Bhava. Nitya Sattvastho Bhava. Choose Sattva. Choose Sattva in all the various aspects of your life. Have Sattvic faith. Have Sattvic ideals. So whom we decide to follow is very important. In Facebook, Insta also, we just don't click like, subscribe on social media, right? We think, we reflect, whether is this person worth following, this video worth following, sharing, subscribing this channel? Will it be of help? Will it be of use? Don't we think? That is what it is. So, where do we decide to place our faith? Whom do we decide to follow? Whom do we want to idolize, worship? That will practically shape the direction of our life, the quality of our life. It's very important we understand this. Very important we understand this. In whom we want to trust, believe, and follow, have faith in, what matters we want to have faith in, that will impact the quality of our life and the direction our life is going to take. I chose to believe, have faith in Guruji, and my life turned a certain way. I'm just saying, for example, like that, each one will have a story. The moment I chose to follow this particular thing with respect to health, my health improved, one would say, whether it is yoga or food or whatever, right? So that is very important. Faith affects, will have a great impact on our life, the direction that we take. So we have a choice in where we want to place our faith, in whom, in what. And Bhagavan Shri Krishna says, Nitya Sattvastho Bhava. Have faith in sattvic ideals. Idolize sattvic people. Have sattvic role models. He dedicates many chapters to it. 14th chapter talks about Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, Shraddha, Traya, Vibhaga Yoga. 17th chapter, and we already saw with respect to food, isn't it? We saw with respect to food, what is sattvic food, rajasic food, tamasic food. And we saw also with respect to austerities also. We only saw the sattvic aspect because that's what we want to do. In yajna, in dana, our intentions, our perseverance, all these are our enjoyments, our recreation, sukha, everything is of these three types. 18th chapter also talks elaborately about it. 16th chapter, where it talks about Deva Asura Sampat, is essentially this in a different way, where he talks about all the Deivik Sampat, that is Sattva qualities. 14, 16, 17, 18, 4 chapters, through many slokas, Bhagavan discriminates Sattva from Rajas and Tamas. Our duty should be as a spiritual aspirant to follow the message of Shri Krishna and try to understand what sattvic faith is and try to nurture sattvic faith. Try to inculcate and cultivate that sattvic aspect in us in all, because he says Nitya Sattvastha Bhava. See, that sattva is there in all of us. In all of us. Even the most criminal, worst criminal will have sattva aspect in him, although to a different proportion. When Shri Krishna says Nitya Sattvasto Bhava, it means with respect to all aspects of our life. Because I am a very noble person, but with respect to food, I have no control. With respect to recreation, I have no control. With respect to work, I'm sorry, my nature of work is this. I have to run after money. Can't say like that. In work, in food, in worship, in recreation, in every aspect, try to nurture what is sattvic. So when it comes to yajna, because particularly Bhagavan said yajna dana tapaha, we saw tapaha, we saw food also already in the lifestyle management. So in yajna means worship. So whom we worship? If we worship God in whichever form, our Ishta Devata, in whichever form, even as Nirguna Nirakara, you want, or as Saguna Sakara, just as qualities of compassion, love, or a particular form of Lord Shiva, or a particular avatara, Shri Krishna. Okay? So our altar is God, first of all, for Sattvika Yajna, whom we worship. And what should our attitude be? Bhagavan gives these 4 tips. Aphala kankshibir yajnaha, vidhi drishtaha, ya ijyate, yashtavyam eva iti, manas samadhaya, sa sattvikaha. Aphala kankshibhi, without expectations of results. That is, we do worship, we do our puja, we do our rituals, or we do our duties, whatever, dedicating to God, only dedicating to God, not expecting any results. As we saw in Karma Yoga only. Results may happen as a byproduct, that's okay, but that's not my aim. I'm doing this particular ritual. For example, I'm following Ekadashi Vratam or Sankatahara Chaturthi Vratam. Okay. How I should do it? Vidhi Drishtaha. I should follow the scriptural injunctions, first of all. I can't say, oh, Vinayaka Chaturthi. Chaturthi, I have a function, I have these personal commitments, or I have this important marriage to attend. So I will do it in Tritiya, or I will do it in Panchami, or I will do it in this or that. Sometimes scriptures itself may give us, oh, if you can't do this day, you can do it in any of these 10 days. If it is allowed, then it is allowed. Otherwise, it is not according to just our whim and fancy and our conveniences. One cannot say, oh, why do Abhishekam with milk and this thing? I want to do Abhishekam with whatever I like. I will do this perfumes and I will do a bath or a bubble bath to God Ganesha's idol and do all these things. I want to offer what I like only. I will offer pizza and chocolate cake. As an attitude, when you eat, you offer to God, that's different thing. But when you're doing a ritual, you can't offer all that into fire or as a yajna. You can't do that, no? In scriptures, it is said, oh, this time is not suitable, so let me do it in the middle of the night. I will have no disturbance. Then I can be with God and pray. In the middle of the night, you sit down and you take the name of the God or you meditate. That is all fine. You can talk to God anytime. But in the middle of the night to do the yajna or the puja, except certain pujas are allowed. Shivratri, you are allowed. Vaikuntha Ekadashi you are allowed, not Vinayaka Chaturthi. You understand? So these scriptures, these injections are given by the scriptures. So following them to the best we can. And even after we follow all this, sometimes certain things may happen, not in our hand, not in our control. Then we say Kshamapana, and then we offer it to God and say Om Tat Sat. That is also given in 17th chapter at the end. Even after making every effort to be sattvic, to follow the injunctions, to do it as a duty without expecting results, with full focus, manasamadaya, with your mind focused and concentrated on Bhagavan, that is very important. Just it has to be done in a hurry, hurry. It's done without focus is not the Lord. Focus is all the decorations. Focus is all the food. Or focus is on time. Whether I finish it. Focus is not on the God. And yashtavyam eva iti. It has to be followed. It has been ritual that has been handed over to me by my ancestors. It's been in the tradition. So I must do it. Not doing it will cause some dosha. So I should do it. I've seen my mother do it, my grandmother do it. It's in my tradition. This is what the scriptural injunctions are. This has been handed over. Therefore, I should do it. There may be a situation where one is very sick, one cannot do, or something has happened and the mishap has happened in the family. One should not observe that here. All that is okay. But otherwise, one has to do it. And not because it will give me Swargaloka, it will give me Punya, or for these reasons, I'm keeping this vratam so that my son gets a good job, my daughter gets married. Not for such phala, but because it is to be done, I'm doing it, focusing my mind, following all the vidhi and instructions. That's what it is. And according to our varna ashrama, all this yajna and all that will change. It has been prescribed also, already enjoined in the scriptures. Example, in the brahmacharya ashrama, to study, to do Gayatri Japa, to do Sandhya Vandanam every day, to do Gayatri Japa every day, it's been enjoined. You do it because it's been enjoined. I'm in the brahmacharya ashram, Gayatri Japa has been enjoined. I have to do it every day. It is to be done with focus, as per the vidhi. I have to sit and do it, not walking and do it, not bathing and do it, and not like that. It has to be done in this way, and I will do it this way because it has been enjoyed with my mind's focus. Not for punya, not for doing Gayatri Japa 108 times or 1008 times. You will gain Swargaloka, you will gain prosperity in life, you will gain all these things. It may be said, it may come, accrue, but I'm not doing for that. Because it's been duty given in the scriptures, handed over to me by my guru, by my ancestors, I will do it. Similarly, what has been said for grihasthas, the panchayagnas, which I briefly mentioned earlier, the panchayagnas we all know, our duties towards our ancestors, towards devatas, towards other fellow human beings, towards other creatures, towards our shastras and our rishis. Those things one should do because it has to be done, not for any result, but following all the injunctions and with mind's focus and concentration. Similarly, for vanaprasthi, upasana is the main yajna, upasana, bhakti upasana. Do bhakti, do japa, do puja, do ishtadevata puja, do bhakti, upasana. And for sannyasis, dhyana, meditation, shravana, manana, and nididhyasana. Not that it should not be done in the other ashramas, but that becomes the primary duty, primary yajna in that stage of life. In that sannyasi stage, one is not expected to do actual rituals, or one is not expected to do things, duties towards pitras or other bhutas or Nara Yajna or Deva Yajna. No. The sannyasa ashrama, you have gone to that stage. By age, at least you have gone to that. Then your duty primarily is this: do nididhyasana, reflection, full-time seeker, seek the Lord, do dhyana, do bhakti upasana. Not for name, fame, money, or to earn anybody's respect, but it has to be done. On the other hand, Rajasika Yajna is what? Doing worship or rituals. Yes, they will also follow the instructions, the scriptural injunctions, but there will be this focus on the result. I'm doing this to gain. It's either putra kameshti, it's this or that. To fulfill this particular desire of mine, I am doing these rituals. One goes to a temple also with one coconut and has a big list of all these names, all these nakshatras, and all the wishes of all these people, and list goes on, expecting all these things, anything that is done. But follows Shastra Vidhi, has faith, does this, but result expectation is there. And also sometimes what is there is wants a display of it. There will be a big banner and God's picture will be small, and one who sponsors it, that person's name and picture will be big. I want the world to know I've made this donation, I've made this Annadanam, or I'm this Mukhya Yajaman. Okay, so that kind of a self-boasting display and expectation of results when a yajna is done, although all the Shastra Vidhi has been followed, it becomes a Rajasika Yajna. Tamasika Yajna, Tamasika Yajna there will not be any adherence to Shastric injunctions, to one's own convenience only. யார் என்ன சொல்றது? Shastra சொன்னா என்ன? Why should I follow? It is said in the Shastras, why I should follow? I will do according to my wish, my convenience. Vidihina. Why I should offer only in the right hand, I will offer in the left hand. Why it should be done in Purnima, I will do it in Amavasya. That is what suits me. Shraddha Vihinam also. Shraddha also is not there. Sometimes out of compulsion or peer pressure, or because I should be seen as I worship or I go to temple so that I can get votes. Whatever may be the weird logic, weird intention, the evil intention, but not faith in the God. Shraddhahinam, Vidhihinam, Mantrahinam. Mantra is also not said. Hurry, 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 done. Get it done quickly. Just take pictures, post it, and that's it. Done. Or telling the mantras according to one's own, any which way. Some people sing, there are even Gayatri mantra that is not chanted, it is sung in a sing-song tone. You can listen to it, but that is not how you sing and do a yajna or japa. If it has to give a certain result, or if it has to be done, if it has to be called a proper yajna, it has to be done, chanted a certain way only. And Ashishtanam, there is no Danam, there is no Annadanam that is done. Why I should do Annadanam? I don't believe in Annadanam of people who will come to the temple. I will go and do it in an orphanage. You do it in an orphanage, in an old age home, very good. That will have its own effect. But if this yajna has to be fulfilled and this Annadanam has to be done, it has to be done. If it has to be done to Brahmanas, it has to be done to Brahmanas. It has to be done to cow, it has to be done to cow. You have to follow that. Adakshinam, everything will be followed, but no dakshina is given to poor priest. No dakshina or kanjadanam, my surliness in that. Whatever is to be given is not given. Such, or sometimes rituals or worships are done to hurt others. All this black magic and this praying, and whom do they worship? All this preta bhutas or these gora devatas are there. Shudra Devatas. Again, this is not just mentioned in one place. Bhagavan has repeated it in chapter 7 and 9 also. What kind of worship, whom we should worship, and what kind of worship we should do, with what kind of attitude one should do. Hmm? In 9th and 7th also he talks about worship of Shudra Devata versus worshipping Lord himself. Okay. So tapas also, what we already saw about Satvika tapas. But what would be a Rajasika tapas? Rajasika tapas is that, yes, certain kind of physical restraint and physical all this is there, but Sharirika, Vachika, Manasika, what all three Bhagavan has said, that following all three is not there. And again, that tapas is done for result. I want God to grant me this boon. To coerce him, I'm doing this tapas. Or as a display of strength, as a display, not as given in the Shastras. Undertaking austerities just to pain oneself, pain others, sorry, to hurt others. I'm doing this tapas so that this person gets destroyed in life and suffers in life. Hurting oneself, standing on one leg, just lying down on a bed of spikes, starving oneself, not drinking water, just staring into the sun for long hours, hurting oneself, hurting the spirit in oneself, not as enjoined in the Shastras, but just as one's own fancies with wrong intentions to hurt others or for selfish reasons or for display. All these things makes it a very, very, very what? Tamasika tapas. And when one thing is done for pride and just arrogant and self-display, that makes it a Rajasika tapas. So all these things are there. What primarily we have to understand is, since we are only seeing the essence, no lessons from Gita, important messages, that's our title. So we have to understand the essence, what is the core. Point 1, we are our deep convictions. I am what I truly, essentially believe in. And my faith, yes, it does depend on my inherent nature, but at the same time, I can also place my faith in the right direction, in the right patra. In what or whom I will place my faith in, that is going to affect the quality of my life, that is going to change the direction of my life. Obviously, if I want perfection in life, if I want to live to my full potential and realize the divinity within me, then what is the demand? Nitya Sattvasto Bhava. That's what Bhagavan Shri Krishna has said. In all aspects of my life, not just with respect to one aspect. I wake up as a sattvic person, I do my little bit of yoga, japa, I sit there, chant, okay. Then as the day proceeds, my food and my speech, my conduct, all that becomes rajasic. And towards the night, entirely tamasic entertainment and entirely tamasic food, clubs and this thing. Morning temple, night club. No. All aspects of our life, let sattvic nature, sattvic quality pervade our life. Let us make sattvic choices. Let us have sattvic faith. Choose sattvic ideals in our attitude, in our speech, in our action, in what we idolize. Let's make sattvic choices. This is the essence. Okay. With respect to yajna, dana, tapa, food, recreation, and attitude and perseverance, everywhere these three things are there, choices are there. But there are certain common things what makes it a sattvic. That we understand. Whatever is nurturing knowledge, purity, selflessness, nobility, that is what is sattvic. And it should be done without expectations, as a duty, with mind's focus, as given in the Shastra. Then that makes it sattvic. And if something goes out of our control, then at the end, take the name of the Lord. Say Om Tat Sat. Say Sarvam Krishnarpanamastu. That purifies whatever without our control, with not in our control, went wrong also, gets purified, rectified by taking the Lord's name. This is the main essence, the string that we have to catch hold on to. Okay, all right. Let's reflect more upon it and make the right choices. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadakshate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishlate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namah Hari Om